Academy Radio, and we are starting a new show here called Boss Academy Transformations. And the whole purpose behind this show is to help focus on the entrepreneur's internal issues, the things that hold us back from taking action. That's the body, mind, spirit. And I started this because Boss Academy Radio is a great tool where we get amazing guests, great content, which really helps you grow your business because you're taking action on the outside. But I face my own challenges inside. I get stressed out. What do? I go eat. And I don't exercise the way that I should. I'm not getting the sleep that I should. So I said, you know what? I need to take better care of myself. And so let's start a show that can help transform other people and give them some tools while helping myself. It's a very powerful way of, I think, addressing things from two perspectives. So, one of the things I want to talk about today is I was at a Tony Robbins event and somebody gave me this coin. And on one side it says, I'm grateful for. And then on the other side it says, gratitude coin. And I love this because I had lost it and I didn't even realize I still had it. And I found it in my backpack. When I pulled that out, first thing I did is I said, you know what? That's one of the things I need to do is focus on what I'm grateful for. Because you know what? It's hard to be stressed out. It's hard to be upset if you take time to focus on gratitude. It doesn't mean life doesn't get in the way. Of course it does. We all face those hurdles and those challenges. But if we're thinking about what we're grateful for and we start our day off that way and we think about that during the day, the toughest times can seem pretty darn good because we realize we have so much more than most people. And, if you think you're somebody out there who's really struggling, you're stressed out, you're under a lot of strain, or maybe you're suffering from chronic illness, whatever, you have something to be grateful for. And it's in those moments that we realize, we're very fortunate. I'm very blessed. No matter how things might be a struggle or a challenge at times in life, gratitude can be the key. Tony Robbins at his event, focuses a lot on gratitude. He encourages people to focus on making a list of things you're grateful for, exercising that every day, reading that list every day. You can take, if you're in a struggling relationship, which we've all faced those, find the good things in that relationship. Find the things that you can be grateful for. You know what? Maybe that spouse is really hard on you, but you don't have to be alone. You've got somebody to share your journey with. You've got a support figure, whatever. Make that list and focus on exercising gratitude every day. And the things that you're going to complain about and you're going to whine about, because it happens, all of a sudden, they're the same things you start celebrating. And I think that's really, really empowering if you can do that. So focus on gratitude. I tell you, it's something that I've gotten out of the habit of. And when I found this coin, I was like, yeah, that's long overdue. That's definitely where I need to be focusing my energy. And so I encourage you to do the same thing. Gratitude is something that I think, quite frankly, we take for granted, right? That's the beautiful thing about this life we live is we have all these great opportunities. And sometimes it may seem like our life sucks and we hate our jobs or we're stressed out. But deep down, there are a million reasons that we have to be thankful and grateful. So take time to exercise that. I don't care what condition you are in your life. There's someone out there who has it much worse than you, someone who would trade places with you in a heartbeat. Now, I realize that, that doesn't apply necessarily to somebody who's lying in a hospital bed dying, but even they, maybe they've reconnected with loved ones, or maybe they have found a passion or something that's keeping them going in a time of need. And somebody else would go, I wish I had that. I wish I could celebrate that. So take time to be grateful, and I guarantee it's going to go a long way towards helping you. One of the things that I've faced over the last couple of years is this roller coaster ride of weight loss. I lost 50 pounds last year cycling, and then I got stressed out. Business was slow, and I said, you know what? Exercise has to go to the side. So I was putting more energy into work. Well, exercise is something that we need. And the older you get, the more you need to be focusing on your body. You only get one chance, right? And, eating an American diet and not exercising, dangerous combination. So I've been trying to get myself back on the bike. And this morning, I didn't want to ride my bike to work. I wanted to sleep in and drive the car in. But I said, you know what? No, I need to get up, get on that bike, ride in, get some exercise, get that heart rate going. And it's amazing how much better I feel when I do. So even if you're somebody who feels like you don't have an ounce of time during the day, and you say, "Well, I don't have time to work out," because I've made that argument for myself. You do. Okay, so a friend of mine, Matt Zalewski, he actually has a stand-up desk like I do. I'm actually at a stand-up desk right now. This one raises and lowers. It's great. It's by Uplift. I think it's uplift.com. They're a great product, but standing up keeps your energy level up for one thing. So that in itself helps you. But during the day, he has a headset on and he'll be on calls and he'll literally get down and do push-ups. And you can't tell. I'm on the phone with him sometimes and I said, and I'll be talking to him. He says, "Yeah, I just did some push-ups because I had to keep my energy level up." And I think that's so important that we focus on finding little ways to keep our energy level up, keep our heart rate going. Go for a little walk. If you had a bad call with somebody or you just got an email that stressed you out, go for a walk around the block. Give yourself permission to take care of your body. You don't have to do it in the marathon way. You don't have to be out there running marathons every day. You can take baby steps. And I'll tell you, when I'm sitting and lethargic and not taking care of myself and eating crappy, that's a tough place to be in a mental state of positivity. When I'm taking those same times and saying, "You know what? Okay, I'm getting tired." Instead of going to grab another cup of coffee, I'll get up and do some jumping jacks, or I'll get up and walk around the office, walk outside for a few minutes. That little burst of energy makes the world of difference. And you come back in such a better state of mind. You know what? Kill two birds with one stone. Go for that walk and think about a problem you're working on or something you need to solve or something you want to do. And I do that a lot. That's how I start my day a lot of times is I'll focus on trying to figure out, okay, here's the musts I have to get done today and why. And what am I going to do to get those done? And I'll do that as I'm walking or I'll do that as I'm getting ready. And so you're taking advantage of that time in a really, really powerful way. So these are the things that I think can make the world of difference because the external things for an entrepreneur, they can be hard, but there's a lot of people who've paved the path before you. And if you follow their lead, go out to bossacademy.com, listen to Boss Academy Radio. I've had some guests on that are going to just give you tons and tons of information to help you transform your business. But it's the internal stuff that we take for granted. We always think, well, I'm going to exercise later. I'm going to do that later. Well, later comes and a million other things come on the plate that you say are a priority that really aren't, but we make them bigger than they are. So find ways of taking care of yourself. Do it in baby steps. If you can't take time out to hit the gym, you can't go for a long bike ride. I love to get on my bike and go for a 30-mile ride and come back to the office and just hit it, man. I'm so pumped at that point. Yeah, I'm tired from the exercise, but I feel great. But I don't always have that time. So maybe I do a shorter ride, or instead of riding, I go for that walk I talked about. Stand up, get down, do some push-ups, get your heart rate going. You aren't going to need all that caffeine. You're not going to need all that stuff that you think you need to stimulate you. You're going to get yourself fired up. And I tell you what, when I go out to lunch, if I go out to lunch and meet somebody and have a long lunch or a heavy lunch, I come back and I'm like pathetic. It's hard to get going. It's kind of like come home from vacation. So one of the things that I do if I go out to lunch, which yesterday I met a friend for lunch, I came back. First thing I did, instead of sitting at my desk, I went for a brief walk. And I said, okay, I'm going to walk for a few minutes and I'm going to think about what I need to get done this afternoon. If we're always running from call to email and trying to get everything done, man, that is such a limiting way of being productive. As an entrepreneur, a wantrepreneur, small business owner, you need to take care of your body, your mind, and your spirit. And the other thing is dieting. Dieting is something that we all hate it, right? But I've found that if I can limit what I eat during the day, and I'm not saying cut out meals, because cutting out meals is dangerous, but have smaller meals for breakfast and lunch. Then when I go home for dinner, I can have a decent sized meal and I'm not packing on the pounds. At the office, I have some snacks. I have some granola or I have a banana. I use Shakeology, which is Beachbody's meal replacement, and I tell you that stuff is delicious, and it really fills you up. So taking care of your body in simple ways can be really powerful. Now, if you're into the green smoothies, which I've done, and I go through phases where I love them. It's a lot of work. It's not a lot of work. It's kind of somewhere in the middle, but it's a commitment. You got to go buy the fruits and vegetables, and then you got to make them. And I've got a little blender at the office, so it's really easy to do. But whatever you do, just make sure that you focus on things that keep your mind sharp. Heavy, dense, carb heavy meals tend to make me extremely exhausted during the day. I don't want that. I want to be in a position where I'm actually much better off and able to focus on keeping my energy level really at the peak performance. And then the other thing I want to talk about today is managing stress, because stress is something that we all go through. We all face stress. We all have times where life gets in the way. Business may be struggling. You maybe have a client that's upset. Maybe things at home are tough, and it leads to stress. Maybe your finances are a wreck. Well, stress is a killer, and stress, man, it just bogs you down in so many horrible ways. When I'm stressed out, I'm not thinking clear up here. I'm not able to function at the peak level that I should. Now, some people can handle stress and they go in there and they just hit it. Me, I have stress. I want to go lay down. I want to like curl up in a ball and just avoid it. So I don't deal well with it. So I try and limit stress. But when I am stressed, I go back to that exercise. Man, if I'm stressed out, there's nothing better than getting your heart rate up, getting your energy level up. One of the things that I came back from Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within event. And at that event, if you've ever been to one of his events, he has music playing. You're up dancing around and you're hugging people. And it sounds very cultish. It sounds a little crazy. And it is. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. But it's fun. But what it does is it gets you in a peak state and it keeps your heart rate up and you are just on a high. And when you're on a high, it's amazing what you can do. So when I'm stressed out, what do? I go crank that music and I start dancing around like a wild man in my office, and I go for a walk and go for a little jog. And, I'm not like a huge athletic person in terms of, I'm not going to be the guy who goes out and runs a marathon, but I'll hop on my bike and I'll not just ride, I'll ride harder and faster than I normally do because I want to get driven. I want to get pumped. And that's how you limit stress. And that's how you take stress out of the way. And the other thing I do is I get in front of a whiteboard and I will map out a clear plan, because if you're stressed, this gets cloudy and you stop taking action the way you should. So I want to know, how am I going to get from point A to point B and get point C accomplished? And so I will make a clear plan, a clear strategy, a clear path. So hopefully this helps you. And these are the things I'm working on. Look, this show is really, it's as much for me as it is for you. I'm sorry, I'm being selfish, but I'm reminding myself the things that work for me and the things that don't work. I'm also providing you a perspective, and I want you to think about your own journey. Boss Academy Radio is all about business ownership success strategies. Boss Academy Transformations is all about focusing on the body, the mind, and the spirit of the entrepreneur, the things that help you make those external actions reality, start internally. So once again, my name is Paul Kirch. Check us out at bossacademy.com. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have an amazing day.